What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Time Wars. As today we are going over Son Gohan taking the lead of Universe 7, taking on, well, Universe 2. And as mentioned prior, there's going to be a bunch of matches going on through this kind of story arc where capsuling of this tournament of power. But like I said, we're going to kind of see, does Universe 7 still hold true and take down Universe 2, or will Universe 2 take over? Today I'm being joined by Adam as we go over today's matchup. What is going on, Adam?
Point of order, it's Universe 3.
3! I'm saying 2 the entire time. Universe 2 is the Maidens, which is what our last match was.
Yep. Good match. If you haven't seen that, go and check that one out. That was a lot of fun.
So I am playing Son Gohan from like set 14, which is the Power of Duty, which is kind of like a skillless list. You're playing Catapezla from, not Catapezla, you're playing Pepperoni. From set 18, 19. I think it was 9. Actually, it was 20. It was set 20. That's right. Because 18 was when we had Gogeta and Sin, and 18 was when they brought Trios and Android 13. Yeah, so this is set 20.
Yeah, and it's actually funny. This particular Universe 3 deck was played almost exclusively by one of our old members, Josh, who's been away from the game for a while, but he was gracious enough to let me borrow all of his cards. So it was fun kind of going through this again. There's a lot of synergy in the deck, but your deck has a lot of synergy too.
Yeah, and so going into this matchup, I want to first point out real quick, Adam, you were currently traveling when we were planning on doing this recording, so his video may look a little bit different because he's not using his normal camera, and I had to do kind of quite a big of scaling. But hopefully the picture is clear enough for you guys to understand what's happening. He did play the one drop, which I think it searches top 5, I think it is. Or searches for like one of the other pieces, because the way that Universe 3 deck works is that they have one drops that will pull the other one drops, and then you can use them to kind of like go into Analyza and Big Chain's cool. And there's a secret that he will do later that I was not expecting, because the gentleman he's talking about took his list from me, because I played this deck first at our locals. And the ZNG is super kind of like fun if you get into that engine, but you had another engine I was not expecting. His one proxy, we both have one proxy in our deck. For you didn't have access to the card, but this is the Z extra card. I think it's 10 times Kamehameha is the red extra card. And my one proxy will be Android 17 Universe 7 Challenger. I could not find our set. We have a playset because Fluff played this deck before. I played this deck before. Just couldn't find it. But here you use energy markers. You did go second, and you got out the Baby Unison, which once again is not a Universe 3 character, but sure, I'll let you have it.
Listen, we get 80% of archetype, and 20%. That means I get 10 cards of whatever I want.
Yes, I know.
Just no SCRs.
Correct. No SCRs are in the our Time Wars play style, but you use that to steal my Gohan, putting it underneath your Baby Unison, which is great because I saw another one.
Yeah. Well, and I will say that I wasn't expecting that Baby Unison to do as much work as it did, but it really did help me kind of control the amount of card draw you're going to get from those Gohans.
Yeah, and one of the benefits to, we'll say both these decks have the ability to, you could go chain up aggro in a sense, I go wide aggro, so eventually I make you have choices, like it's like, and we'll see that later in the match, where you have to choose, like, do I take his one drop which gives him an extra draw, or do I take this other card that could be possibly more of a threat,
Right.
And for those who aren't familiar, this deck in particular, skills are how you kind of get your draws going, which is fantastic. I could have incorporated, I think at the time of recording I had the cards. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but I didn't incorporate the Z extra card Unison, which would have been great. I could have just paid 2 energy, played the Unison, and been happy from here on out. But I didn't do that. So as you see, I haven't awakened yet. I have to awaken the old school way, which is kind of annoying. I have to wait to either get to Unison or at least get to, I think, 4 life.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is another one of those, I don't know, less featured battles in the Tournament of Power.
Yeah.
We're basically going through the Tournament of Power now in Time Wars.
It depends when you look at it, because technically, Universe 7 characters were fighting throughout this fight. So actually,
Hmm.
when I thought about this fight, actually, I was thinking, I was like, oh, we're doing the last part of the fight when they fused together and stuff like that. But
Right.
technically, there were parts of this fight that happened beforehand, and that's what the problem with Universe Tournament Power. Like, I think we're kind of going out of order in a sense. Like with our last video was Ribian 18. There were more fights that we could have incorporated before that, which we'll go back to and take care of those fights as well. Because like there's so many unique one-on-one matchups or team fights here and there.
Right.
Because like there's one, it's Goku and Vegeta taking on the trio Dangers. You know, like that's a matchup
Hmm.
that happened very early on actually in Tournament of Power, which we could
Yeah,
definitely go back to at some point.
definitely. Yeah, and so this is that engine that you were talking about. That was a bit of a
Yeah,
surprise. Cato Pesla is Universe 3.
yeah,
And that one drop is really nice because it lets me look at the top 7 cards of my deck for any Universe 3. So it really helped me to find the pieces that I needed, the ones that I was missing to create my Koichi Raider and ultimately my Analaza.
yeah. Now, right now, you immediately went to the four. I think the four drop, which has protection, which is
It
great.
does.
I
Hmm.
can't neg
Dual
it
attack
out.
barrier.
I
Yep.
can't do anything to it unless I have a way of bypassing the barrier.
Right. And
But
we
here,
both got. I found it was interesting that you had 2 of your testing oppositions in the energy, but that explosive dance is now live because both of us have fields
yeah.
or Z
Well,
extras in play.
it's not live until 4 life though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you have to have 4 less life to trigger the thing. Here I don't know. You were awakened, I think, because
That's correct.
you
Yep.
awakened early. I don't remember what your early awaken
Mhm.
was actually.
I think it has something to do with me having cards in the field that are. Let me just take a quick look.
Yeah, but what's happening right here is that I'm going after your. Sorry, I played the 17 during your turn to get more resources on my turn because my idea
Mhm.
in this moment was I need to just take out that unison as quick as possible and hope he doesn't have another one. If he does, you're expending 3 energy just to replay it. But that unison has such a way of protecting itself because it's not a once per turn effect, if I recall correctly. It's just a permanent. When it would take damage, you can instead just place one of the cards underneath it and put it into your opponent's drop.
That's right. Yep. And even if I did have another one, I could put another baby underneath it, give it an extra marker, and then use
Yeah.
that for fuel for protection later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
just a point of clarification: when I have the Panchea, the Bullerator, and the
that's
Kuitsukai in
right.
either energy or battle, I can awaken.
Yeah. But you had 2 in the energy and 1 on the field, so you were able to get that weekend
Yeah.
early. That's right.
Mhm.
Um, so here, like I said earlier, I'm just going for the unison. And you've drawn a lot of cards. I've drawn a lot of cards. I know it doesn't ultimately do much. I'm like, oh, I'm denying him resources. But like my mindset was like, if I could get rid of the unison, he won't steal my cards anymore. He has to get rid of them the hard way. I keep my Gohans as a way of kind of like gaining extra draws in my hand. And like I said earlier, if you wanted to, you would have to expend 3 energy just to play another one. But also, if I recall correctly, when you're tapped out completely, your leader gets an additional 1k power. So now,
Mhm.
now every attack I do on like the Frieza, and granted, 17 for example is only a 10k, so it makes sense for her to attack into your unison, which is a 10k. But like Frieza would have to um combo a card off. And you see here, I did combo a card off, but that's just because I wanted to get the draw. 2 draws, really.
And and getting that unison off of my board is really important because that extra 1K with my energy rested is off of the unison, not off the leader itself.
Correct.
And playing this, I mean, when you start bringing out these older archetypes, or even just any archetype that you're not used to playing week after week, it takes you a minute to kind of get how everything kind of works. I mean, you've had a little bit of experience with the deck that you're playing, but this was, other than mental gymnastics, this was my first time running through the deck, and I thought that I was going to be able to get to my Koichi Raider or my Analaza a lot faster, but I was having a hard time getting the pieces that I needed
Yeah.
with the energy that I needed.
With the amount of deck, this because like on the Leaders Awakened side, if correct, you search top 5 cards for a Universe 3 card, but I think it specifies energy costs 4 or less. I think. Am I right?
It doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say on the for the top 5. No,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
any. Yeah, it's any cost.
So yeah, like you have a lot of ways of searching. Like you can replay another one drop that allows you to get some more search. You can play the.
Hmm.
Did you have? You didn't have access. See, that's the thing about us you traveling and not being able to make it to shops on Saturdays is you don't have access to certain cards because you don't
Right.
have the regional promos from last year. I think it
Hmm.
was, which I
Right.
have like, and we could have if we ever played the shop, which we can now. Spoiler alerts,
Yeah.
we'll have
Yep.
more clearer matchups and not doing
I'm
as much
back,
web.
suckers.
But like, if there's a matchup and you're like, "Hey, you have this promo card?" But yeah, I got it over here. I can pull it out of the binder. Not a problem. I can't find 3 of my set 14 common cards. Don't know why.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, sorry, it's an uncommon. But
Yeah.
so here you see, I'm just playing 17s. Sorry, 18s on the board to kind of get more pressure onto your units because she's 10k, and it's a once per limit for her effect to play her at the end of the battle. Which this card, um, when this card in your hand's using a combo, play this card from your drop. So yeah, it's pretty nice to kind of get that 10k out for one energy during your turn or my turn. Especially during your turn after you've eaten one of my cards. I'm like, cool, I'll just boom, get another card on the board. That just applies pressure to your unison to I need to go away. And I will say, I give you shit for this. You go after unisons, in my opinion, too much.
Yeah.
And
I can
that
take that critique.
and a lot of that does break down to like when unisons were first coming out, there was a period where the minutes like unisons are annoying. We need to get rid of them. A lot of decks now, unisons are just whatever. Like you don't really have to focus too much pressure on them. But I was like,
Yeah.
I need to get rid of this card. I hate this card.
Welcome to the dark side, my friend.
You
Yeah. So
so some things we missed. Sorry, go on. Yeah.
I was just going to say I did get my Catapesla up to the 5, which
Yeah.
is nice because it warps something, and it has double strike critical, which is really tough to ignore when it swings at you for sure.
Yeah, going down from 5 to 3 on a crit sucked. And then on your leader swing, I went ahead and played my explosive dance for my hand because if I recall correctly, your next chain on that card resends itself. And so
It
my
does.
my thought process like you don't have enough cards. So like if he wants to waste a resource and resend, go ahead. He can't attack with it, which is because it's also another double strike.
Yeah.
I think dual attack crit, which is just stupid.
With barrier.
Yeah,
For one.
yeah. Which you do. I think you just evolved it actually,
Hmm. Yep.
but you can't attack with it right now, which is
Correct.
yeah,
But with red, I feel like you kind of have to expend your energy as much as you can because I mean, in this particular format, there's not really a whole lot. I'm not running the Gohans, that play for one as a counterplay. So I thought that it was better to kind of set up my board. I'm at 6 life. I can't use any of my blocker negates. I can't use my super combos. I need to get down to life. So I felt pretty comfortable where I was.
which also I think going into the last turn that was like another mindset. I'm like, I'm not letting you get to a place where you can do things because you can't use super combos right now either. Like
Right.
you're
Yep.
you're currently kind of locked out of things that will give you like crazy access. Like you said, your negate block and stuff like. I think that's why I so freely just charge him. I'm like, look, I know I'm not seeing my unison, so like he's going to attack my life, and I super combo at 5 life at 5 life instead of 4 life too, which is great.
Yeah, it's funny when you play with a specific group of people, you start to mete out
Yeah,
what their triggers are. Steve is the same way. He doesn't like unisons either, and so
yeah.
we often play the unison kill game.
So I think in this way, I'm using the 17s or sorry the 18s. I don't know why I keep doing that to swing into your unison just to get those attacks out there. Um, It looks like I'm comboing. No, sorry. Was that off the Gohan play? I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was off the Gohan play. But getting that initial swing just to kind of apply some pressure with cards that don't really matter. Here I'm swinging with the unison, comboing up, getting the draws up both the cards, which is great. Comboing off the 17, getting another draw with that because of the skill list in the combo area, and then I'm gonna pay 2 for a card, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna play 2 for this 8-drop Goku. Which in hindsight, it's great for this turn because you are in a tough situation because you are at 6 life, you are tapped out. And I think I'm swinging into your lead right now to put you at 5. This Goku is a double strike dual attack. but has a permanent when you and your opponent can't play battle cards with a 25,000 power or more from the owner's hand. So, and great, it'll go away at the end of your turn, but this card in this moment for 2 energy is allowing me to apply a ton of pressure to you, someone who is currently tapped out.
Yep, absolutely.
And I wanted to see if you had a negate blocker, which I think you don't, but we'll find out in a second. So going into the attack here, it looks like no negates are being played. Yeah, so you take 2 hits, you go down 3. So I'm like,
Yep.
have that little back, but it's not crit for you. So whatever.
Right.
We are swinging again here. I come off the 117 from the board. And here I'm just kind of making you get rid of cards from your hand if you don't want to go down to 1 life. Because once you go down to 1 life, you're in a very tricky situation. But you do combo out that one.
Right. And with, I mean, even if I went down to 1, we don't have to worry about, SSB, Vegeta, or anything to kind of burn me for 1, which is nice.
Yeah. So here, I think I swing the leader to your unison. Because I think I realize at this point you're not going to. I don't want to play anything really to apply any crazy amount of pressure onto you. So I'm just going to go for the unison and try to see if I can just add some extra kind of stress to you. Which you now have no card under your unison, but I think your unison is still at 2 markers right now. Yeah, I think you're using it at 2 markers. I thought it was at 1 because it's kind of hard to tell. But when as I was going to attack with Gohan, I clarified it, and you're like, yeah, it's at 2. I'm like, oh, I just don't want to attack with it. It's pointless to attack with this card then. Like, I thought it was at 1 marker. I was going to get rid of it, but it didn't matter.
Yeah. Well, and playing online, especially with a kind of a webcam format, it's hard when you're exchanging cards between players. So I think that I did miss 1, maybe 2 triggers to +1. I think that I just stole the card and added a marker for the number of cards I had underneath. But you guys can leave a comment if I did that, or watch through again and look for that little Easter egg.
But yeah, like I said, Goku was just for additional pressure. You just ate it, get out of the board, so now you can play whatever you want to play with no restriction. Keep in mind, this card does specify from your hands you could still play battle cards with that much power from your Z deck.
Mm-hmm.
Here you play one of the, I think, 1 drops that allows you to pull one of the other 2 out of your deck, kind of, thinning your deck out a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Which I think that you and I both got pretty thin in this match. I mean, we are drawing a lot of cards. I'm doing a lot of searching and filtering. So it was getting thin there, there toward the end here.
Yeah.
But there's oh gosh, this U3 deck there's a lot to kind of process. There are cards like I think the Quetzalcoatl and one of the Panchias. They'll add an extra 5k to whatever card is above it. There's Z cards that are, I think right there was the Coiturator that I got out of the Z deck. So it's just trying to figure out what is going to be my most effective way to try to lock in a win.
Yeah. I think there's an interaction we're about to come across because I think I need a verification on the card that you're doing first. Because this card, I think, has Deflect, but doesn't have... Yeah, that's what I thought. It doesn't have Barrier. So I was like, hang on. Sneaky. I need to figure out what its stance is, as it's coming to play.
Yeah. So that was a good play.
Getting rid of that, like, you're already stuck under the floodgate, and then which I think it's a webcam thing, because I think I negate it with Explosive Dance again on your first attack with your Catapezla, and you went to go play the Z battle card. I counterplayed it, and you use your resources that would have allowed you to continue attacking, but it doesn't stop the leader from attacking, so you can still attack the leader. If I don't negate, which obviously I'm out of energy, you can combo a card that will allow you to attack again with other cards from that point on. And that's the way to, like, for those who freak out about Explosive Dance, when you get Explosive Dance, against red, never swing the leader first. Allow them to Explosive Dance on you, and then you swing with the leader. If they don't negate, combo 1 card from your hand that allow you to attack with another card, then attack with that card, combo that, take that card away, combo another card to attack with another. Like, and that's how you get past Explosive Dance. Like, you don't have to preset it up unless, obviously, you just want to have those cards in your Z deck ahead of time. But, Never swing a leader first against red.
Good advice. Look at that. We're learning, we're growing, we're changing like butterflies.
You do end up passing clicks because you can't do much, unfortunately. I think
Yeah.
you did swing the leader, but you ultimately had nothing. It looks like you didn't combo anything, but also had blockers on the board, and it didn't really. Nothing could have came from that, I guess. But also, that Catapult is 30k, so like I don't know if you would have been able to theoretically put combo 30k off if you have one already in your hand, you know.
Right. Yeah, 30Ks are usually, a one cost 10Ks.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I wanted to waste that resource when I had an explosive dance in my hand.
So a card I didn't think I would ever like when I normally play this deck in the back in the day when I played it a lot. I actually never incorporated Roshi in the deck, but in this particular format, Roshi is great. It just returns a skillless back to my hand from the drop. So for one energy, I still have 5 up energy. I still feel great, and I have plenty of Z extra cards right now. You use explosive dance against me, I'm ready.
Absolutely.
We get 2 draws here. Oh yeah, I'm trying to get you down to I think 2 life now. Yeah, there's another combo which gives me another draw at 17 again. And I'm like, oh, here's the card that would have been great against your Unison.
Gives everything barrier, right?
Yeah, it gives all your Saiyans barrier. So like the Gohans would have been safe. You couldn't steal the Goku. Like you still would have been under certain like things.
Yeah.
So
So I
here,
believe that is my third and fourth super combo.
yeah, which is great. You didn't get put into double strike range, which you're fine. I still have 5 open energy. Don't have a lot to attack with because like everything I have is kind of weak. I need to play cards if I want to go into attacks. Let's see. In truth, when we record this was a while back, I can't 100% remember what the order here was. So I swing with the Unison first, and you find a 15k of power to get rid of, which has to be 2 cards, unfortunately. And then I come with these cards, making that 25 to your leader. And you're comboing it out right now. You keep yourself protected. You have the additional 1k, so I have to apply a little bit
Right.
more pressure to kind of get through some of these attacks, which is kind of annoying.
No, absolutely. Because even swinging with your leader, you got to at least combo one off to get up to.
There, I missed the window for it, so I have to reset if I want to do it now. I play Krillin, which allows me to fetch this skillless back that I put underneath my leader. And, like, happened to missing my window really sucked because now I have to go backtrack and go around, waste the energy just to get this off. Like, I had it perfect set up, and I forgot to do this. I'm like, no, I'm not going to ask you to take it back. I'm just going to do it this way instead. And now I play the Vegeta Z battle card, which, attacks combos a card off, negs a card, and then I can reset and activate battle if I have X amount of cards in my Z energy, so I'm good here. And it's just getting pressure put on you, because you now know what's in my hand, you know it costs 2 energy, I'm getting this set up here for it.
You have a stack of Z energy.
Yeah, but it's because every turn I'm comboing cards off just to get
That's
draws.
true. Yeah.
Like,
And you're not really losing anything because when you use the Z energy, it just goes back in your drop for you to use it again.
yeah. And also I forgot the Vegeta negs out the unisons as well. That's why you see you use the card underneath it to stop from losing a marker.
Once again, I could not get myself up the chain on to my Analaza.
Yeah. I did stop you in the process of getting to the Z1 as well.
Yeah.
So we're tackling Vegeta again. We're negging out the unison 100%. You lose that 1k now, making your leader an average leader. And here I think I'm just
it was an average leader to start with.
And here I'm just trying to combo up the world here a little bit to make you take that double strike. Because now you have 2 attacks coming at you, which I think are 30k a piece. Yeah, 30k a piece. And I still have the Z extra card on the board just for that additional pressure here. And I'm just coming out like make you get rid of your whole hand if you want to survive this turn. And that was it. So Universe 7 does take the victory today once again. And yeah, that wraps up today's video. Hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.